There is this local Western Marin winemaker, Thackeray Wines. They do this wine called the Pleiades. They do certain wines underneath like constellations, so they pick only under certain grapes and a lot of different varietals. It's definitely a lot of blending. He uses a lot of kind of esoteric, magical principles. I mean, I don't even know. I think he's very secretive about what he does. And I think he actually might have passed, but there's a lot of his proteges that have kept the label going.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast, the Next Generation series. My name is Margherita Andrenacci, and I would love to take you on a journey with me to find out new ways to pair wine, whether with music, an activity, an experience, or your feelings. Let's dive into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Italian Wine Podcast, the Next Generation series. Under the glow of a waxing moon, but mostly just a beautiful sunny day in San Francisco, we are in sweet company of today's guest, Matthew Drewry. He's a self-described mad magician, known for turning Mondays at Millet Wine and Sake Bar into whimsical rituals with wine, cards, and a touch of fiery mischief. So pour yourself a glass and join us as we explore the sparkling crossroad of tarot, terroir, and transformation. This is the Italian Wine Podcast, and today, magic is on the menu. So for those who haven't yet wandered into the green drawing room or crossed paths with you at Millet, Matthew, tell us who you are and how would you describe what you do?
Okay, I'm a self-proclaimed mad magician. I don't think there's ever been a job title that I could really exactly adhere to, but I'm definitely a nature lover, worshiper, whether that's nature in the great outdoors or flowers in our garden or just the transcending nature of ourselves that we are trying to understand all the time. And so, yeah, and more than anything, I'm a believer in magic and really have set myself on a path to honor that belief. And if others also feel an inkling of belief, try to encourage it and foster it and grow it together as a community.
And what is magic to you?
It's such a big question, and it's such a simple question too. I mean, magic, I believe, is just an aspect of, I think it is nature. I think nature is complete magic, but it's the idea that not everything has to be explained, that there is just a interconnectedness in the world around us, and we can work with that interconnectedness through connecting with nature, through the invisible world. Yeah. Sorry. It's such a, so many people have so much to say about it, and it's so hard to condense it into
then that's also a reason why I asked. I feel like magic can be such a different thing for different people, but I love you describing as this nature thing that fills space and connects. And
maybe it's the invisible thing that connects us all. And when you have something that comes out of the ethers and wasn't just on the linear kind of platform, that speaks to you on a personal level and also a feeling level, it's a little bit of magic.
It is. It truly is. I've seen words like taromancy, floromancy, and even weird romancy put around. And I'm sorry if I butchered all of those.
I am going to mispronounce a bunch of things, and for the fastidious wine lover, I'm going to totally make some big stretches in terminology too. So
I love that.
Apologies also.
No, so what do they mean? I love the idea, or just how they sound, like taromancy, floromancy. I love it. So what do they mean to you?
They are all forms of divination, which is the magical kind of reading and working to reveal esoteric realities in nature, in ourselves, and our surroundings. It's a way of actually understanding where we are. So that's divination, using ritualistic tools and such. Taromancy is the use of tarot cards to reveal truths. Reveal maybe trajectories that we seem to be putting ourselves upon. That's the simplest. Floromancy is the use of flowers to divine.
Okay. In my head,
Uh-huh.
I had this whole vision of romance,
Mm-hmm.
like tarot romance. Yeah, I thought it was like, like a romance between tarot and I don't know,
Well, I think
something.
kind of that is like I mean, when you're romancing something, you're really curious
Yeah.
and you really want to create a really beautiful stage and space
Hmm.
and field for it to evolve and to reveal itself. So yeah,
Yeah.
these are all yeah, they're all very romantic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and floromancies, like flowers are, one of the most romantic things we utilize.
Mm.
We use it as an offering for love or birth or death, but we're always courting something with flowers. And also, I think because, flowers and plant things have been integrated in
Hmm.
human involvement, they know our stories really well, and we utilize them in our stories.
Do you have any favorite flowers?
I do. Yeah.
What is your
Yeah.
favorite
My favorite,
flower?
the passion flower is actually
The
my,
passion flower.
yeah. So
What?
passion flora. Yeah. Do you know what it looks
I
like?
don't think so. And
Okay.
it could be just because I guess I'm familiar with Italian names of flowers, so
Sure.
I don't know
Sure.
how that just. So, can you describe it for me? I'll look
Yes.
it up
Yeah. So passion
after.
flora. I mean, I think it is a Western world flower.
Okay.
So it's from the Americas, but I definitely seen it in Europe too. But it is very like a Dr. Seuss kind of vining flower, and it
Okay.
has this flower that has like petals, but then it has this really kind of wild like
Mhm.
stamen, pistil, and all these little tendrils inside of it. So
Mhm.
it's really fanciful, and it's yeah, takes over everything, and it creates passion
Cool.
fruit, which we eat. So yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I have it in mind, but I'll
Okay.
look for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love wildflowers. I think yeah, I think also my name means Daisy, so I
Oh,
guess
you know
yeah, I
that.
love flowers. Like
Yeah.
wildflowers though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not
Same.
the yeah.
I mean the yeah. I mean I do a lot of floral work, and what I use is all wild gleaned,
Mhm.
wild foraged flowers. So
Can you tell us a bit about this how this path started for you? If cards or tarot or flowers were always part of your world, or how did you discover they were, and how did everything evolve into the practice you offer now?
sure, sure. So I grew up in a family that was definitely a real nature lover. My mom was an avid gardener, but she also read tarot. In like the '60s, she was a
Wow.
little bit of a hippie, and yeah, is from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, tarot cards were always like part of
Wow.
my upbringing a little bit. They were fun things to play with. And definitely like nature and curiosity, and my dad was a really great storyteller too, so I think those things kind of all have kind of compounded and built
Hmm.
into my current kind of path. Yeah, and then in art school I got back into the tarot. I think I was
Mhm.
really transfixed and really interested in the iconography and symbolism that
Mhm.
was imbued and put into the cards,
Mhm.
and started using it as also just a helpful tool to understand a young adolescent, angry, confused,
Wow. Yeah.
queer soul. So
Yeah.
it became just like kind of a fun thing I did for parties and friends, and then seemed to have a knack for it. Yeah.
So it must be like a dear thing to you. Like if I remember all the things that kind of accompanied me through my adolescence, like I have a very sense of like I hold them dear to me because it's they put they helped me through becoming an adult, and I it's now everything is for me like a symbol and very symbolic. So wow,
Oops.
knowing that that was part of it and you're doing it must have a lot of power in your, or I guess have had a lot of power.
Yeah, I think tarot, it doesn't just feel like a tool or like a random collection of ephemera. It feels like an old friend, and it feels like an ally.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always that moment when you do a reading where you feel like, I don't know, do I know anything? Like how am I going to tell something to somebody that's helpful or reveal something that is what they need? And then I always remember like, oh no, I'm working with a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna like, I'm supported in this. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel like you're alone, because it's something that
Mm-hmm.
feels really deeply.
So for someone booking a session with you, what that experience look like or feel? I know you have tea, you have your cat Leonora.
Yeah.
Is there any tears, smile, laughter, panic? Can you tell us and open a little window into that world?
Sure. Yeah, so I have my like funny, witchy, eclectic drawing room. I usually, yes, there's tea, there's water, there's little libations. I usually do a little guided meditation just to get grounded. Because I think my space is kind of actually overwhelming for a lot of people because it's so much, and so it's nice to kind of like close the eyes and get like grounded in the body.
So what do you mean it's so much?
I mean, I'm a bit of a animist in my magic practice where I might be using a lot of objects of sentimentality.
Oh my god, I love that.
Or things that are broken, or things that I find on a walk, whether they're dried flowers or feathers, old broken china in the dirt. So there's a lot of gathering and working with feelings and correlation. So yeah, I think, and then just collecting in general. The idea that everything has a purpose and everything has a symbol that you can work with.
So I imagine there's a lot of energy going into your space.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So yeah, a little grounding, a little conversation. There's usually, then we do the divination. And then there's, usually a kind of a collaborative crafted spell. People are feeling like they want some sort of resolution, or they feel like they have something that they've taken from the reading they want to put into motion. We'll do that.
That sounds amazing. I really hope one day I get to experience that.
I would love that. Yeah. Please.
So you read tarot every Monday at Millet Wine and Sake Bar here in San Francisco. And I love how you describe it as making Mondays magical. So what is it like to hold space for a stranger in an environment that it's different from your own? And why a wine bar?
I mean, first of all, I think it's great to be in a neutral space sometimes, especially if someone's, and I think a wine bar or a party or an event space, people are disarmed a little bit. They're having fun. They're seeking pleasure. And there's a big part of me that, while yes, there's a lot of magic and depth to tarot and divination, I think the best way to reach a person is always through fun and through laughter, or through just finding common ground. I think, a wine bar is a great place for that, especially people who are there to also, I think Malay is they really appreciate the craft of things. So I think people are normally drawn there about, and there's a craft in my work as well. So it feels very conducive to having a fun time, but also a very intentional time.
And do you see people come and they don't know they're gonna have a reading and then they end up doing it? Do you think that Millet kind of makes it easier or more approachable to be spontaneous for a reading? Because I feel like it could be something that you decide to do just spontaneously, but maybe it's something that you thought about doing for a while, and then sometimes I would be kind of scared to do, but maybe if I was not expecting a tarot reader at my favorite wine bar and then I see one, it's
I think there's something that can feel casual about it. It doesn't have to feel like this life-changing moment per se, and it doesn't also have to feel like this. There's lots of psychics and tarot readers around the city, but oftentimes you have to like go up the staircase, and you're like, what am I going to find here? And it can be great because it can make you cross the threshold of fear, but I don't know if that's always necessary to find out about yourself. And I think that it's easier to kind of take it down a notch, and we find ourselves less guarded because of that.
You answered the question that I was going to ask right now, which is, do you feel that people open up differently at a wine bar than
because it's there's lower stakes for sure, and yes, we have less inhibitions, but I think that there's something also that's just very beautiful about the blending as well. There's that romance of having wine and reading tarot, and it's something that's in this older, a little archaic form, a long history, so it feels like it mirrors the wine as well. I think it all kind of bleeds and blends and supports each other in that imagery.
It is a beautiful pairing. Is there ever been like a wine or a label that you felt like it was perfect for a reading? Meaning, like, I don't know, sometimes, yeah, you can pair different things with, like, okay, this is what's happening. Does it ever like come to you like a color or just, yeah, a taste or?
I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely, like, I'm a person who's a feeling person and follows mood. So yeah, on a certain days are more white or red or heavy or whatever. But I'm trying to think of like a specific kind of wine that kind of has really felt like poignant. There is this wine, local northern western Marin winemaker, Thackeray Wines. They do this wine called, like, the Pleiades. They do certain wines underneath like constellations that they pick only under certain grapes, and a lot of different varietals. There's definitely a lot of blending. He uses a lot of kind of esoteric, magical principles. I mean, I don't even know. I think he's very secretive about what he does. And I think he actually might have passed, but there's a lot of his proteges that have kept the label going. But yeah, I definitely feel like I've enjoyed reading, especially the Pleiades wine, which feels symbolic because I'm a big like myth buff, especially like Grecian myths. Okay. So the Pleiades are kind of they were these 7 sisters that actually took care of Dionysus, the god Pan, who's the god of wine. So there does feel like this beautiful kind of, these wines and grapes were picked under these constellations when they were in the sky at the most brightest.
I never thought about, about the process of harvesting during a different constellation, and I'm pretty sure winemakers do it, and they have
different moon cycles and all kinds of different seasons. Absolutely, but I do love the idea that there is a time for everything, and those times will correlate with certain maybe expressions. And
I feel now that we're talking about myths, wine has been symbolic for the longest time, like religion. I mean, Catholic priests still drink, a sip of wine during mass. I was raised
the blood of Christ. Absolutely. It's the well, I mean, because the process of alcohol making is it's transcendent. It's alchemy, really. It's taking these rough and raw things, condensing them with pressure and, I mean, trauma, really. And then when you create something beautiful out of it, which is, I think, what life is, no matter what, you get some shitty hands at some level, and and it's rough and raw, but then the refined thing can oftentimes make something of beauty.
I never thought of it. It is a process of trauma that then ends up in a very pretty thing.
And a lot of like I mean, for instance, a lot of the Greek myths are about flowers, or all about actually a lover or a hero that had a tragic end, and then they were turned into a flower. So it's this transformation of pain and suffering into something that is long lasting and also remembered.
This is beautiful. This is gonna give me a lot of things to think about after this. Would you say that the community, going back now to Millet,
yes, of course.
Would you say that the community at Millet is kind of like the same community that you find around like tarot reading, or is the same people, meaning like age? And I'm asking this because I feel like there's a big question about the wine community, people not really showing up to wine bars anymore. So I'm just curious, because it's not every day that you find wine bars doing pairing with things like tarot, and I think it's beautiful, and I think there should be more, but maybe there's a reason why they don't do it, because maybe it's 2 different communities that don't really go together.
This is a really good question. I mean, I think it does tend to go in and out of fashion from what I've known. I mean, I've read with Millet, but also there are other wine bar called Fig and Thistle. And so now with the company, I've read for like over 10 years, except for a small break in the pandemic. But I think people just in general are always looking for new and different things. And I have felt the people in the wine community definitely are interested in the tarot. I think it depends. People are coming in for whether it's a fad versus they're really, really interested in wine. I don't know if that. I think the people who are really interested in wine do tend to be really interested, like I said, in different crafts, and tend to be just kind of more curious folks in general, interested in their environment and communities. I do think that is so. I think that people who are wine enthusiasts, beer enthusiasts, interested in the culture of things tend to be excited about the tarot. I can't say with 100%. I mean, people who are attracted to wine bars aren't all wine enthusiasts per se. And I think that just the times in general kind of dictate to what people are, how open they are or how closed they are. Whether they're drinking maybe to create community or keep things a little more controlled. I don't that's kind of a funny statement.
No, but
I guess that's
but you're right. Curiosity could be something that kind of brings these two things together, because of course, I don't know. I think wine bars differentiate from general other places where people meet and get to enjoy wine because it's specifically a wine bar. But it's very hard sometimes to have a wine bar that doesn't feel like you need to know something to go there.
Sure.
For sure, curiosity, I would say it's a good link.
I think curiosity and just a little more self-awareness maybe, or just wanting to have more awareness of the world around you. You're more interested about what you are tasting and what you're imbibing, and you're wanting to have a little more of an experience than, not that going to a bar doesn't give you an experience, but you're breaking things down just a little slower, I think, which does lend to divination a little bit more. You can have a little more space, and wine bars can be quieter, and not that they don't get jolly, but
no, for sure. I don't have a lot of background in tarot, but I'm very fascinated by the icons and by the cards and all the symbolic on it. So in the tarot cards, there's a lot of cups sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole suit of so there's 4 suits. So yes, there are
suit of cards.
There are 14 cup cards.
14.
Yes.
That's a lot.
14, and then some of the so the major arcana has some cups too, so you might have more cups than that even.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's about intuition, love, feeling, but those cups sometimes look a lot like they could, hold some wine.
I mean, that's what's in my cups a lot of the time, so I would think so.
So does it ever comes up? What does a cup in a card mean?
I mean, you kind of got on the nose. It's oftentimes emotional natures, feelings, relationships, how we are holding those relationships. Yeah, but there's also a little bit about how we are mixing our pleasure as well, our spiritual pleasure, and finding how we are soothing ourselves in life. And sometimes, it could absolutely mean, your wine in particular. I'm not going to say it won't. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of flow, I would say, also in the cups. And I don't know if you have any particular, just symbolism behind the flow and the cup, and having a cup that it's full, or having it pouring, or having it.
Sure. I mean, definitely there's I'm not a stickler for reverse meanings, but I do kind of pay attention a little more when they're cups, because they're usually about whether something's getting filled or something's getting let go of, which is, kind of how emotions work. Are we embracing things, or are we letting go of things? We do tend to be really kind of tied with our emotions, being more fluid. So I do think that there is a little bit of understanding where we are in the tide of things. And I guess the other thing that we might be kind of more wine related is, I think that emotions aren't just only about kind of looking at the linear thing that's happening in our life. It's just kind of like wine, whereas it's probably a whole conglomeration of different experiences and surroundings and just different kinds of people that are kind of blending and recalling memory and scent. And so there's this kind of very layered experience with the cups, which is, feelings in general are layered. They're not so cut and paste.
Would you say, again, I'm not very familiar with any of this, but I do really, really love the symbology. So what would you say is the most, or if there is a card that is very nature embracing, or is it all about embracing? Is there, I'm just curious, what would be the most attached to earth and nature?
So pretty. Well, I think there's certain cards that are about really focusing on your own personal nature, and definitely I think that the Ace of Cups could definitely be very much centered around that, like really just kind of focus on how wonderful you are and what is bubbling up from you.
Yeah.
I think in nature in general, I mean, they're all kind of speak to that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole idea of like kind of studying your nature and where you are in that current moment and place. The Sun card would probably be about like honoring your like most essential self. Which, wine, what is flowers, what is anything without the sun? So, it's that source.
And I have a few last quick questions.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite wine?
Well, I spoke about the Pleiades wine, and that's definitely one of my favorite. I got a ton of that for my husband and I's wedding, and so it definitely has a happy memory when I drink some from that grade. But
is it any particular? You mentioned you don't drink a lot of reds.
I don't, and that one is a red actually.
Oh,
so
really?
It's kind of funny
but
it's a very bright kind of robust floral red. But I do have other. I mean, like I love a like more. I love like a Gruner Veltliner or like a Suave or like a kind of like really unripe fruit kind of white. That's a little effervescent. Yeah.
And would you be able to pair a card with your favorite wine? Or just doesn't need to be a card. Just an emotion.
An
also.
Emotion. Well, I think that the wines I like. And this is just kind of coming in, but I think the wines I like the most kind of have just a lot of dynamic kind of elements to them that make you question like what and why is this the flavors I am getting, which probably speak to a whole bunch of different kinds of environmental aspects. So I'm kind of feeling the Hermit is an interesting card. Kind of this kind of going a little inward, going into your tastes, trying to figure out and ascertain what am I feeling and tasting right now, and then how does it correlate to me, and what does it drum up in me? Because the Hermit card is very much about trying to shut out what's going on around you and find your own perspective, which is fitting because this is 2025 is actually the Hermit year of in the tarot card. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Would there be also maybe a song that you would pair with, like all of that you said?
Yeah.
What is playing in the background?
What is playing in the background?
Or a sound also.
Sure. He's from Texas originally. Town Van Sant is artist. Yeah.
Town Van Sant.
He was a kind of a folk singer. Yeah. I love. I don't know. I'm thinking about his like Fare Thee Well Miss Carousel kind of song. And that's a lot to do about like cycles and moving through people and places.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's kind of coming through right now. Kind of twangy folk singer.
Okay, nice. I'll get a bottle of your favorite wine and listen to
that track. That one, or like Numb by the Rain, I think is on that same album. It's really gorgeous. Yeah, kind of sad, but kind of like not taking itself too seriously. So I guess that's kind of the weird romancy idea. We all need a little bit of funny saltiness to it.
I love that. I love it. I think, just adding a little bit of something else to your glass of wine just changes the whole game. And
and just kind of, I do think there's something about, embellishing your emotions a little bit and going with it, richening that experience can go a long way. That tiny little effort.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel a little bit more enriched after this conversation.
I feel enriched too,
you know,
yeah.
So thank you for also, being part, even if we're not sharing a glass of wine, we're still sharing a glass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're still sharing something from the earth and from nature, and
and for sure some magic, let me tell you. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining the Italian Wine Podcast, and
thanks for having me.
I can't wait to come at Mille and
please, come for a reading or come to the Green Drawing Room, either or.
Yes. Thank you, Matthew.
All right, thank you so much, Margherita. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Let us know your thoughts on our social media at Italian Wine Podcast, and follow us to keep up with the next generation of Italian wine people. Make sure to check out my latest article where we dive into music and wine on the Italian Wine Podcast website. Cheers!